You can't stop it.
Hello?
Okay, it's fine. Let's continue. Let's continue, Chair. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Maputa. I think then we'll proceed with our meeting. Let me welcome the members once more to the welcome the members, the NESA personnel and members of the public who have joined us from various platforms to our REC meeting number 406 held today, the 1st of July, via Microsoft Teams. We do have an agenda for this meeting this morning. And in terms of the open session of our meeting, we have 5 agenda items for discussion. And may I, on that note, get an indication from members that they do support the agenda as presented? By show of hand, members. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I do support. We will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the declaration of interest. Any verbal interest to be declared, members? Mr. Mkhize?
None from my side. Thank you.
Okay, I've got none as well. On that note, let me request everyone to complete the declaration of interest form and submit them to the secretary for the meeting. And before we proceed with our meeting, I would like to introduce members of the REC, or rather the Regulatory Executive Committee. And starting with myself, my name is Nomalanga Sitole. I am the chairperson of the REC and the CEO at NESA. I also sit on a number of NESA committees and subcommittees. I am with Mr. Muzi Vukile Mkhize, who is the chairperson of the Petroleum Pipeline Subcommittee, and he also sits on a number of committees and subcommittees of NESA. Mr. Mkhize, may you kindly greet the attendees?
Thank you, Chairperson. Greetings to you, Chairperson, all in attendance, as well as the members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. On that note, we will proceed with the first item that is on our agenda for the open session. Mr. Ngumalo, may I request that you introduce the item, or rather guide the committee as to who is going to lead the submission for us. Over to you, Bob.
Thank you, Chairperson. This matter will be introduced by Ms. Tabete, but just to indicate again that for the benefit of members, that the applications that we're going to discuss, even subsequent to this one, are sort of interrelated. They come from the same applicant and they relate to the same facilities that are operated by this applicant in the Western Cape province. Ms. Tabete, you can come in and introduce this one.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ngumalo. Just to indicate to Chair that Ms. Tabete is on training in China. She is not available. So I'll be taking through the committee on this submission. My name is Mahlanu. Thank you, Chair. This is an application, as Mr. Ngumalo has indicated, in front of us, item 5 and 6 and 7 are related. So it's in relation to the operations by Volco Power to put up storage facilities as well as regasification facilities and trade in gas in the Brandsebaai as well as Koekenap areas in the Western Cape. So here the applicant is seeking to extend the period within which it should become operational. As the committee would know, the applicant was granted these licenses way back in 2020, and then therefore, due to challenges that it faced in relations to the closure of the country in COVID, as well as the war in Russia, and therefore the applicant could not go ahead and start with the operations. As the committee has been aware, through the compliance inspections that have been conducted to these facilities, when the country was opened in 2021, the gas division went on to these areas to inspect. At the time, there was nothing taking place, and the applicant was informed of the challenges that it will face if it does not start with operations. And also subsequently in 2024, the compliance team went again to check with the applicant, and it found that there was no operations taking place, and therefore the applicant was issued with a notice in order for it to commence with operating activities or to apply for amendment for the application, so in order for it to be extended, granted the period to extend the period. So therefore, due to those reasons, then the applicant did submit an application to amend its license conditions so that it can extend the period for comments. The applications were duly advertised in order to allow for the members of the public to comment and also for the public hearing to take place. However, the public hearing did not take place, and the members just had questions. And the questions are on page 7 of 82 that the members had. And therefore, all of the concerns that the members had were addressed during that period. Yes, Chair, we know that the applications, there were delays in processing it. However, due to the public participation process that had to take place, and therefore we had to delay on that. And in line of that, we are requesting the subcommittee to approve the extension of the period for the operating activities to take place in the Brandsebaai area, as well as Kokenap area, as well in relation to the trading area, in trading license, Chair. That's what we're requesting. All of these 3 applications, they speak to that. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mahlanu. Mr. Mkhize, any questions, issues of clarity that you may have on the application?
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks, Mr. Mahlanu, for the presentation. Yes, indeed, there are similar, all these applications. I will start off by just requesting that the team members do go through in terms of language editing and tightening, the aesthetics of the submission and the decision and reason for decision document. Secondly, I just got a slight concern around 4.5. You deem the second line to be confidential. But the first line in some way give away what the reasons are. And also just to recheck if the reasons put forth are of a nature that they should be confidential. I think if expressed in general terms, they could still be deemed to be not to be confidential, especially considering what you have under 4.4, because you are saying that you seek to amend the conditions 1.5 and 1.7 regarding the commencement of operations of the regasification, storage facilities within the months that were given. My concern is that whenever you give a license, you want to see the implementation, the use of that license. In some other areas, they even talk of a use it or lose it kind of a principle that needs to be employed throughout. I'm just concerned here with the time periods that we are looking at and the delays, and would like to also understand from your side if, based on the project plan, if you've interrogated their project plan with regard to the time that is now requested and them being able to implement within this required time frame. Just some kind of confidence in you having kind of perused this and satisfied yourself that these are they would meet this new date. Secondly, I think it's important for you to make it clear that you with the delay in the start of operations, you have been doing the compliance monitoring and enforcement in the intervening period before the lodgement. You need to have it hardwired here, that confidence that you have done that. If you have not, just be also clear if that is what actually happened. And then when it comes to the applicant itself, well, I'm just concerned that you maybe it's me. You just assist me in case I did not pick it up anywhere, where you are talking of the triple BE credentials of the applicant. We are in the situation where we're looking at transformation of this industry, both in terms of the participation by those previously disenfranchised, as well as the structure of the industry itself. So if you may please just also reflect on that. That's all from my side, Chairperson, and I'm just going slow on these ones because I understand that they are also applicable throughout in these three applications. So even in your response, I would appreciate if you may respond with that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. I hope, Mr. Mahlani, you have noted the fact that the comments or input made by Mr. Mkhize, it's applicable to the other applications since they are linked to this particular one. Excuse me. From my side, I think the issue of the monitoring and compliance that the team has done, I think Mr. Mkhize has touched on it, and I would like to add to say that maybe let's just add it to enhance the submission. And I've got one issue for clarity, which is linked to page 8. I think the top block there in terms of the response provided by management. And it's linked to the issue of whether will the applicant be financially viable, be in a viable position when the project is due for a commencement, considering the comment that has been made in that particular paragraph. If you look at the last sentence, the second last sentence there, that starts with milestones was not this milestone was not achieved, etc. there. So if you can just indicate to us if this particular a project will be viable at the time that is due for commencement, as the financial component, it's one of the critical points to be considered in such applications. That's all from my side. I see Mr. Mkhize's hand is up. Do you want to come in, sir?
Yes, please. I think there are just two things that I've left out. I think when it comes to the commercial viability, or financial viability of the project, I think let's also look at the act, what it requires in terms of putting it from the point of view of the applicant having the financial and operational or technical abilities to operate, whether they still have that, or we think that they will still have it. Just to make that one clear. Also, I think on the key issues, like you do with the market, the competition aspect, is also to reflect on the prudency of this application of this applicant and the application in terms of not now only, but also into the foreseeable future, looking at the time at which they would want to then operate. Also, may you please just noting in a way, I think sometimes at PPR, yeah, they would have just a summary of the timelines, and I think that that helps. And then you then put maybe kind of justify the time it takes to process an application, so that we are seen to be diligent and very much attentive to apply ourselves to process these applications in the shortest time possible, noting that we've got a legislated process or procedure to follow. Please, if you may just then reflect on those two things that I've just added. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Mr. Nayo, over to you. You will be assisted with whoever from your team that you'd want them to assist you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you to the members. The last two questions I'll ask Mr. Samuel Kotora to assist on the financial viability aspect, as well as a prudence in relation to the competition issues. I'll ask Ms. Louise to assist on those comments. Sorry about that. In relation to the language editor, Chair, yes, we will take the document to the language editor, both the RFDs as well as the submission, and for it to be edited, and then we'll correct that. Thank you for that input. In relation to paragraph 4.5, yes, Chair, I think we can agree that that comment there, the second paragraph that was highlighted, because it's a well-known fact, it's common cause, and therefore, in fact, I think the division also reported on how the market was affected by the prices due to the Russian invasion. That comment, we might leave it out as not confidential. It's I would say it's common cause. There is no financial harm that the applicant will suffer by us divulging that information, because it's common cause, it is well known. It might just be embarrassing or to the applicant that they just took longer to implement their project. That's the only thing, but we were already speaking about it in the submission, and therefore by default, it should not be confidential. We take note of that, Chair. So in relation to the project plans, and then yes, Chair, we in our last meeting when we met with them going through the project plan in November 2024, they had their project milestones. One of them was the signing of the contract, because what happened is that they had to renegotiate the contract after these issues were picked up, and therefore that contract was concluded. In fact, they first started signing it in December, and therefore it was concluded. That was a major milestone that needed to be achieved. And then the second milestone, which is they need to have achieved, was the funding, and therefore that is what it might delay the project a bit. However, we're of the view that as soon as they get over the funding aspect, they will be able to attain and meet the targets for the project. Yeah, in relation to the compliance aspects that we've conducted, yes, Chair, will prop up the submission and put those paragraphs and include those comments when we went and what was discussed in those meetings, as we usually make that as another submission to the PGS when we speak to compliance inspections and findings. So we'll just pull the minutes from that and include into these three submissions going forward, Chair. In relation to the BEE credentials, to Mr. Mkize, So if we go to paragraph 39 of 82 on the first document, I'm just speaking on the first document, the applicant in its application indicated that, Chair, it is a level 2 contributor in terms of the triple BEE, and it is 54% black owned. It also indicated that in the Brandsebaai area, it is going to look at sourcing the labor within that community, in the Brandsebaai and Gukenap communities. Those are secluded areas more in the rural areas, so they are looking at drawing most of their personnel in those areas, and therefore promote access and equity through employment, as well as that it is 54% black owned, and some of the funding and some of the funders, I think it's a black women company that's funding that project. So in that vein, it is promoting the triple BE values of the country. And then in relations to the financials, I'll ask Mr. Kotora to come in and assist on that regard. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think on the financial issues, the main aspect was that they have not reached financial close. And because they have not reached financial close, it will further shift the start of the project. But when the project is built, we expect the project to be viable because the project is meant to replace high carbon fuels such as diesel and paraffin. So the project will give a slight discount to the price of those fuels whilst they are supplying their customer. So the viability is expected to be viable. The issue that we have, Chair, is that they have not yet secured the funding to source the capital, as Mr. Nayo said. So that paragraph was emphasizing the fact that the applicant has not yet secured funding for the capital, and that it will affect the start date of the project. But once the project starts, we expect the project to be viable, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nayo and Mr. Kotora. Mr. Mkiza, any follow-up on those responses?
Thanks. Thanks for the responses too. I just got some few issues on the triple B credentials. For me, it's a matter of saying uplift it and include it in the submission, because it is one of the objects of the act, and therefore I think that it deserves some kind of elevation. Same would one talk of the aspects of competition and as well as prudency. We went to the extent of having prudence guidelines, and which are now also being reviewed, and it must be seen to be fully implementing them. And I don't think that we should just leave it and not uplift it and include it in the submission. One paragraph at least would do to give an impression that we are of the view that this is maintained. One does not seek to be obstructive in this, but we need to have our ducks in the row in terms of crafting our documents. And I think that Madam du Plessis might also want to reflect on it, Chairperson, if maybe I'm in the wrong. Again, maybe they have lost sight of some of the things here. And then also the response regarding the time it taken to process the document. On the issue of financial abilities, you end up not now sure, because we're talking of the ability of the licensee to undertake the project, irrespective of the having reached the financial close or not, because you would expect such applications to also proceed sometimes, so that you don't get yourself caught up in a chicken or an egg situation. So please look at also the issue of legislation, both primary legislation and secondary legislation, in terms of having our processes properly aligned, so that you don't end up with many licensees but less molecules in the market. Because at the end of the day, with that licensee, you actually want to see the actual molecules on the market. Yeah, if they can just reflect on this, I'll appreciate before one can really talk about getting to the decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I see Ms. Du Plessis' hand is up. You may come in, Louise.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning again, members and colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for the comments. I just wanted to note that the competition analysis is on green. If you look at the green page numbers, it starts on page 30 of 82. And just a quick outline of the assessment. I think we start off by indicating or summarizing what was done, the assessment that was done in the initial application, noting that once the project starts, there's likely to be a slight positive impact on competition, because it will enable the first commercial gas sales to industrial end user customers in the Western Cape province. And there will also be additional gas entering the country. But our assessment focused on the potential for closure effects of NERSA approving this particular application. In other words, the delay in the applicants implementing their project. And we looked at potential input and customer foreclosure effects, and we found that there's unlikely to be significant foreclosure effects, because the licenses that we gave to the applicants was not exclusive to a particular geographic area. Rather, the licenses are tailored to specific facilities and to a particular customer and the customer's premises. And as such, any other market player that wants to enter into the market can still get a license from NERSA, even in the same area. And they would have a number of other customers that they would be able to supply gas to, even if they use the same model to supply the gas. Also, as indicated, the licenses only pertain to one customer, so that also indicates that any other market player are free to approach any other customer if they wanted to enter into the market. And also the contract between Volco and the customer is for a limited period, so there will not be an evergreen foreclosure of this particular customer. So for other potential entrants to supply to. And on that basis, we found that there would not be significant negative competition implications, and once the parties actually start with their operations, there will be a slight positive impact on the gas industry in South Africa. Chairperson, we also then, I think it's on page 33 of 82, we assess the impact of our approval of this application on the objects of the Gas Act. The assessment is there, but just to also note that on page 34, Roman figure 2, we do reflect on the fact that NERSA's approval of this application, and if this project goes ahead, that it will assist in achieving the object of the Gas Act that relates to BBEE. Also noting there that the applicant is a level 2 contributor. So that is also covered in this application and the other applications as well. Maybe if Mr. Mkhize maybe wanted to point to a specific area in the competition analysis that he would like to enhance, I'm happy to engage on that. Thank you.
Thank you. I see there's a hand I want to give. Do you want to come in, Mr. Katora?
Yes, Chair, thank you. I think there were some issues that Mr. Mkize raised, which we also took from the post-hearing or when we had the pre-hearing, particularly on the prudency assessment. And indeed, we have included a section on the prudency in the main submission, particularly in the on the pages 26 to 30, the paragraphs numbered in green. Some of the issues that we picked up, Chair, indeed pertained to the funding, and that this may delay the onstart of the project. And Chair, we also took the liberty to ensure we have the latest communication between the applicant and their customer. So as late as 30 April, the customer was interested in the project and gave the applicant an extension on the period in which they could start supplying them. So on that basis, we realized the project may still proceed if the customer is still willing and ready to accept the project, the product from the applicant. So we have enhanced the prudency assessment as we took guidance from this committee, Chair. And also we have noted some of the issues that Mr. Mkize has raised, and there are issues that we have considered in this application, but we will pay particular attention as we assess other applications as well, particularly on the financial abilities of the applicant. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kotara. Mr. Mkize, any follow-up? I think
Yes. From my side, I'm covered by the responses, but I might emphasize from Madam Louise du Plessis' side to say if some of the things just to highlight them in the main submission, and also to bring context when we're talking of prudency. I think the same with competition is not to only look now, but to be forward-looking in terms of saying, are there any applicants in the same area, for example, that could take that market already? Because we shouldn't talk as if this particular in the same way that we're talking of foreclosure. We also need to look at it from the point of view that there could be another player that is there, actually the 2B client switching to that person and therefore making this whole thing fall flat. To be able to look at those aspects and not look at it entirely in isolation. But that is just for an enhancement going forward. I would then say, Chairperson, I'm happy with the responses received, and I'm looking forward to the document being enhanced accordingly, as well as to incorporate these in the forthcoming submissions. Not only that are before us right here and now, but also going forward as part of continuous improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize, and thanks to the PGR team. I think you have responded to issues raised by the members, and I trust that you will enhance the document as directed, particularly with regard to the issue of BBEE. You have responded to it, but the guidance is that please try and enhance that particular part or elevate it in a manner that it is in the manner that you have been guided, the prudency issues. I think what's important as well is to just try and look at the turnaround times in terms of such applications in the future. The fact that we do have yes.
Oh, Chairperson, sorry. There's just one thing that I just want to add to Mr. Now. Apologies. The issue of the confidentiality. I know sometimes we can have funders that actually don't want their names withheld. because it confirms that they're out there in the market and active. Please just verify that aspect, because in some instances it could be better to not keep their names confidential. My sincere apologies, Chairperson, for interjection. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. I think the team has noted that. I think what is also important that could assist the team in terms of the turnaround times, and also it's the addition of a table that indicates all the activities and dates taken, and where we believe there are some delays, we can try and look at them and come up with innovative ways of improving them without solely relying on the statutory timelines. If we can finish these application early, let's do that. And also, I think it will be important to continue to monitor these applications, particularly in relation to the funding issue, that we have been informed that the applicant has not really secured the funds, and that may impact on the viability of the project. So if you can do that. On that note, Mr. Mkhize, I think we can move on to the recommendations. The recommendations are on paragraph 14, page 12 to 13. And the recommendations are that the REC is to approve the application by Valco Alpha to amend the conditions of its license to operate the liquefied natural gas storage facility in the Brandsebaai area of Matsikama local municipality in the Western Cape, and to approve the application by Valco Alpha to amend the condition of its license to operate the regasification facility in the Brandsebaai area in Matsikama local municipality in the Western Cape, and to approve the attached decision and reasons for decision marked Annexure 1, and the attached addendum marked Annexure A and B, and also for the team to take into account all comments made by the members. By show of hand, Mr. Mkhize, can I get an indication that you support those recommendations as read into the record? Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support them. We will then move on to the next application, which is item 6. It is from the same applicant, but can I hand over to the PGR team or EM to just introduce the application and guide us as to who's going to lead that particular submission? Over to you, Mr. Ngumane.
Thank you, Chairperson. This is another application from the same company. In this case, in relation to the amendment of license conditions pertaining to their same operations or similar in an area called Kukenap. This is in the Matsikana local municipality in the Western Cape province. Mr. Mashamba will quickly deal with this one, and having noted the issues that members have raised, we'll just incorporate all those issues in terms of dealing with them here as well, and the same will happen with the other application. Mr. Mashamba, you can come in quickly on this one.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and good morning to the REC members, management, fellow colleagues, and stakeholders. Chair, this is just an application by Valco Alpha to amend the condition of its license pertaining to the operation of gas storage and gasification facilities that are located in the Kukenap area of the Matsikama local municipality in the Western Cape province. Chair, it forms part of the 5 license application by Valco Alpha and its stakeholders, as already mentioned. Chair, the applicant is requesting the energy regulator to amend the condition to amend the condition of his license, which is on section 1.6 and 1.7, to increase to extend the commencement period from 36 months to extend the extension period, Chair, from 36 months to 75 months, Chair. Just as already explained in the other application by Mr. Nayo, these are just similar applications, just same applicant, different locations, and they were advertised for public notice and the public hearing on the same newspapers, on the Bield and the Sowetan newspapers. And the public notice for public hearing was also advertised on the business day in the Bield newspapers. And there was no comments or objections regarding to these applications. And there was a debriefing that took place on 23 May, and members of the REC gave guidance and advice, and input were made as contained in table 1 of the deliberations. Chair, we would therefore request the members of the REC to approve the amendment application and the recommendation on paragraph 14 and of page 14. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mashamba. Mr. Mkize, any additional comments? Because the same comments made in the earlier application do apply on this one as well. Any further input from your side?
No, Chairperson. I've taken time on the first one simply because it's applicable throughout, and I'm content that management is going to incorporate all of them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do not have any further input as well. I think I have made my input on the first application, which for the record, they are applicable to this particular application, and management is employed to ensure that those inputs or points of enhancements are effected in this particular application. I would then request that we go to the recommendations, which are on page 12 to 13, paragraph 14. And the recommendation are that the REC must consider approving, or the REC is to approve the application by Valco Alpha to amend the license to operate a gas storage facility in Kukenap area of the Matsikama local municipality in the Western Cape, to the REC to approve the application by Valco Alpha to amend the license to operate a regasification facility in Kukenap area of Matsikama local municipality in the Western Cape. 3, to approve the attached decision and reasons for decision marked Annex 1, and also approve the attached addendum marked Annex A and B. Mr. Mkize, by show of hands, do you support the recommendations which are subject to those enhancements made earlier? Thank you, Mr. Mkize. I also support the recommendations as read into the record. We'll then move on to the next application or submission, which is item 7. Mr. Ngumalo, over to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe in the interest of time, let me just quickly round this one up. It's the same application again from this time around. I think members must just note that the applicant in this one is, the mother body or the mother company to the to Volco Alpha. The company is called Volco Power. That is the company that actually owns the molecule, and it is the company that is going to do the trading in those areas. So this time around, they've applied for amendment of the license conditions due to the same reasons. For their license to trade in gas, that's in the Brandse Braai area as well as the Kukenap area. It's in the same areas that as we've just discussed in the other two applications, Chairperson. But this one is now with regard to just the amendment of the trading license conditions. And Chairperson, we've taken note of the inputs or issues that members have raised in the other applications, and which will then be dealt with and incorporated into this one as well. Chairperson, I think that is basically in a nutshell the position with regard to the third application.
Thank you, Mr. Ngumalo. Mr. Mkize, any comments on this amendment to the trading license of Valco Power in relation to the two applications that you have made? Any input from your side?
None, whatsoever. Chairperson, since as I've alluded earlier on, the same kind of comments, questions, and guidance that were made in the first application also apply in this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Colleagues, we will then move on to the recommendations. I do not have any input to make on this application. Safe to say that the same comments as Mr. Mkhize has indicated. Comments, points of enhancements made in the first application apply to this one and the previous one. I will then request that we go to the recommendations which are on pages 14, paragraph 14. The recommendations are that the REC should approve the application by Valco Power Pty Limited to amend conditions related to its license to trade in gas in the Kukenap area, in the Kukenap and Brandsebaai areas in the Matsikama local municipality or in the Western Cape, and to approve the attached license conditions as well as the decision and reasons for decision. A show of hand, Mr. Mkhize, can I get that for the record? Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support the approval. We'll then move on to item 8. Item 8, it's the noting of the round robin on Kopanong municipalities tariff application for the 2025-26 financial year. It is here for noting as it was approved by members via round robin. Mr. Mkhize, do you support the noting of this particular round robin? I do support the noting. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. The round robin is noted. We then move on to the next item, which is also for noting. It is a round robin on the proposed amendment to the MOU between Transnet, National Ports Authority, and the National Energy Regulator of South Africa. The round robin was approved by members, and it is here for noting. Mr. Mkhize, by show of hand, I'm willing to note the RR that has been confirmed as approved. I do support. Mr. Mkhize, I don't see your hand.
Chairperson, just want to check, is the RR for the agreement, am I right?
For MOU, yes.
Yes, also, yes, the MOU, sorry.
Understand.
It's memorandum of understanding, not agreement.
Yes.
Whilst I support this, the noting, Chairperson, I think it would be amiss of me not to mention that it's going to be important for the functioning, full functioning of the teams, the various streams that deal with the operationalization of this MOU, and also that the requisite communication around the MOU be undertaken, particularly being driven from the office also of the CEO, because yes, PPR is in the forefront in as far as this MOU is concerned. But as one of the things, the major changes to the MOU was also to bring in explicitly so the electricity and the gas regulation divisions of the energy regulator. I will leave it at that, Chairperson. But I think that aspect needs to be noted, because an MOU, when there isn't really strong implementation thereof, is just not worth the paper that is written. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for that input and also for supporting the noting. I do support that, but I would want to rephrase it as follows, to say that maybe let's request the PPR team to come up with a plan on how best we can operationalize this particular MOU. Will that be acceptable to you? Because there is a plan as well.
On my side, Chairperson,
Yes.
the issue of the plan is already in place. It's I think maybe to say that maybe the PPR division in consultation with the manager in the office of the CEO will work on the operationalization aspects of this MOU.
Okay, no, that is fine then. If there is a plan already, let's just have an engagement with the relevant individuals needed for the implementation of the plan, so that we projectize the implementation thereof, such that we do not miss any critical activities or engagement with the TNPA where deemed necessary. So on that note, the MOU is noted. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. And also Ms. Jansen van Vuren, if you can just highlight that additional request to have it to ensure that the plan is being implemented and we will get regular progress from the team that is involved in that. Thank you very much. I think that was the last item that we had for the open session of our meeting, and I would like to thank Mr. Mkhize and management and members of the public who have joined us for this particular meeting. And I would want to declare the meeting closed, and we will then proceed with